Hey there, Silver Recaps here. Watch out. The story begins in a small town known for its coal mining. One of the mine partners, Shookum, arrives at work with his son. Just as they begin their routine, his son suddenly remembers that he forgot his tools at home and quickly turns back to get them. But as he walks away, a terrifying creature suddenly grabs him. At the same time, Shookum is thrown to the ground. A horrifying scream echoes through the area, coming from the creature itself, confirming that this isn't an ordinary attack. The mine had been disturbed, bringing the creature to the surface from deep underground. It paralyzes Shookum and then disappears, taking his son along with it. Years later, we are introduced to Ariane, a young adventurer leading a team of scientists to the same town where the tragic incident occurred. While researching the mine's history, Ariane stumbles upon a shocking detail. The town has been completely erased from maps. Stunned by this discovery, she digs through old newspaper articles and finds reports stating that a massive fire broke out in the mine, killing several people while many others mysteriously disappeared. The mine was officially shut down, but locals believe something else happened, something that was never revealed to the public. Determined to uncover the truth, Ariane meets a scientist named Darren, who has gathered a team of 3 other members. Together, they travel to the outskirts of the abandoned town. Once there, Ariane visits a local store and asks the shopkeeper where the entrance to the mines is. The shopkeeper hesitates before replying, "There were never any mines here." Immediately sensing that he is lying, Ariane watches as the man quickly warns her, "Take the same road you came from and leave." As Ariane and her team start walking back to their vehicle, she overhears the shopkeeper making a tense phone call. In a serious voice, he says, "We have a problem." As Ariane and her team make their way toward the mines, she notices a suspicious car following them. To test whether they are truly being tailed, she deliberately changes direction, heading back toward the main road instead of the mines. After a short while, the car stops following them and turns back. Once the vehicle is out of sight, Ariane and her team resume their path toward the mines. They soon arrive at a large gated entrance leading to the mining site. The entire area appears to have been completely abandoned. The gate is surrounded by high-voltage electric fencing, making it clear that someone doesn't want anyone going inside. However, Ariane is determined. Using a wooden beam for support, she carefully helps her team climb over and enter the site. As night falls, the group gathers around a spot to rest. Darren, one of the scientists, remarks that this place was once a town, but it mysteriously vanished. He believes that something catastrophic must have happened here. However, another scientist on the team disagrees. He suggests that this place was never actually a town. Instead, he suspects that the US government was conducting secret research here. According to him, during one of their experiments, a massive accident took place, resulting in the deaths of many people. To cover it up, the government spread a false story, claiming a fire broke out in the mines. But the truth is something entirely different. And now, Ariane and her team must uncover what really happened here. Meanwhile, the locals of the town, including Shookum, are introduced. Shookum is the same man who was attacked by the creature years ago, losing his son to the depths of the earth. Now, as Ariane and her team move closer to the mine's entrance, they notice that the grills at the gate are bent inward. This makes them realize that the scientists from their team must have gone inside. As they search the area, a sudden attack occurs. The creature emerges from the darkness and drags one of their teammates away. Due to the pitch-black night, the team is unable to see where the creature went, making it impossible to go after their missing member. Their priority now is to rescue the remaining 5 team members and get out of there safely. The next morning, Ariane, Darren, and the rest of the team continue moving forward. As they progress, they notice thick smoke rising from underground. They attempt to take a sample to analyze it, but suddenly they spot the same mysterious car that was following them the previous day. Immediately they hide, waiting for the vehicle to leave. Once the car is out of sight, they cautiously resume their journey. After walking for some time, they arrive at an abandoned settlement with several empty houses. However, among all the ruined buildings, there is one house that appears to be in perfect condition. The sight of it is strange. It looks as if someone still lives there. The team enters the mysterious house, where they find various gas canisters and supplies. As they explore the back of the house, they finally discover the mine entrance, which fills them with excitement. However, they notice that the path leading inside the mine is completely covered with metal grills that have high-voltage currents running through them. It is clear that someone deliberately sealed off the entrance. The team works together to disable the electric current and successfully unlock the entrance to the mine. Using a rope system, they lower a microphone and camera into the mine to analyze its interior. At first, nothing appears on the screen, but soon, they realize that there are valuable minerals inside. As they continue listening through the microphone, a loud, high-pitched noise suddenly erupts from inside, causing sharp pain in their ears. Curious to measure its frequency, the team checks their instruments and finds that the sound is at an extremely high intensity. Just then, one of the scientists is still holding onto the rope connected to the microphone. Suddenly, something from below pulls the rope with great force, dragging the scientist down with it. Shocked, the rest of the team tries to look into the depths of the mine, but it is too dark to see anything. There is complete silence from below, and no response comes from the missing scientist. Realizing the urgency, Ariane, as the team's guide, decides to go down herself along with another scientist. As they descend, they find themselves surrounded by thick gas, and they begin to hear creepy noises echoing through the mine. Ariane quickly realizes that this place is far more dangerous than they had expected. Meanwhile, above the surface, the same mysterious car that had been following them for the past 2 days arrives near the mine entrance. A local man steps out, and upon seeing that the mine entrance has been opened, he becomes furious. The man angrily shouts, "You shouldn't have done this!" Without hesitation, he cuts one of the ropes that Ariane and the other scientist were using to descend. However, he doesn't realize that both of them are still alive deep inside the mine. Meanwhile, below the surface, Ariane notices the severed rope. Understanding that something is wrong up above, she and her teammate quickly use the remaining rope to climb back up. As soon as they reach the surface, the local man continues yelling at them. Realizing that they are in danger, Ariane and her team attack him, knocking him unconscious. She immediately warns everyone, "The sounds we heard down there, they belong to a massive and extremely dangerous creature. We have to get out of here now." Without wasting any time, they leave the unconscious man behind and take his car to escape. They all want to get as far away as possible, as quickly as they can. But suddenly, one of the car tires blows out, bringing them to an abrupt stop. With no other choice, they now have to continue their escape on foot. As night falls, the local man regains consciousness. He immediately radios his team and says, "The outsiders have opened the underground path. This place is in serious danger." Just then, the creature appears and attacks him. Meanwhile, Ariane and her 3 teammates keep running through the dense forest. Strange and terrifying noises fill the air. Ariane senses that something is nearby, so she puts on her night vision glasses. Through them, she sees a horrifying creature that suddenly grabs one of their teammates and drags them away. Now, only 3 of them remain. They keep running and soon spot a truck in the distance. The vehicle belongs to local survivors, who stop and let them in. The locals take them back to their town, where many survivors are gathered. There, Ariane and her team notice a drawing of the creature on a wall. The drawing highlights that the creature has a sharp, blade-like arm that it uses to paralyze its victims before taking them away. They also learn that the creature is blind, but is extremely sensitive to sound. Sakaman, one of the locals, tells them, "When we were mining, we accidentally dug too deep and reached an underground layer where these creatures lived." He continues, "There are millions of them, and they started coming to the surface. That's why we set fire to the mines and permanently sealed off all exit routes to stop them from escaping. We have been guarding these paths for years," Sakaman explains, "because we still don't know what these creatures do to humans. They don't just attack and eat people. Instead, they drag them underground. And if all of them come to the surface, they will wipe out the entire planet. That's why we must seal the hole you opened." Realizing the massive mistake they made, Ariane, Darren, and their remaining teammate decide to fix it. They set out with a local man and a young woman from the town to reach the mine entrance and close it. However, as they move, they realize that the creatures are everywhere. The local man suddenly stops and says, "You all need to get out of here. I will hold them off." Without hesitation, he sacrifices himself to give them a chance to escape. The 4 of them run into a nearby house for shelter. But even there, the creatures are still surrounding them. Inside the house, they find a tunnel leading underground. With no other option, they descend into the tunnels, but the creatures are still following them. The town's young woman turns to the group and says, "You all need to escape. I will distract them." She runs in a different direction, leading the creatures away, but the creatures continue chasing the remaining 3. Seeing no other way out, the 3rd scientist says, "I have to do something." He pulls out a grenade. Before he can act, a creature lunges at him. The grenade detonates, leaving him injured. Before Ariane or Darren can react, the creature grabs him and drags him away. Darren, devastated, realizes there is no hope left. Sitting in defeat, he confesses to Ariane, "I lied to you. I wasn't here for any scientific research. I was hired by a major corporation to find coal. Because of me, so many people have lost their lives." He collapses in regret, but Ariane refuses to give up. She turns to him and says, "Don't go anywhere. Stay right here." She then leaves to find a way out. After searching, she finally discovers an exit, but just as she steps forward, a creature suddenly attacks her, paralyzing her for a moment. When she regains consciousness, she finds herself lying on a raft, floating on water. Right in front of her, the creature is there, taking her somewhere. She also notices the body of the young woman from the town who had come with them but didn't survive. The creature is carrying them deeper underground. Soon, they reach an even larger creature, one far bigger than anything she has seen before. To her shock, Darren and the teammate who was taken in the forest are both alive. This massive creature appears to be the queen of the species. It is responsible for eating humans and reproducing more of these creatures. These creatures have lived deep within the Earth's surface for centuries, completely unknown to humanity. Just like ants in a colony, they exist in massive numbers and continue expanding their population. Before Ariane can react, the queen devours Darren's teammate right in front of her. Now, it is Ariane's turn, but she notices something. The grenade still attached to her belt. In a split second, she pulls the pin and throws it directly into the creature's mouth. A massive explosion erupts inside its body, killing the queen instantly. With the queen gone, the other creatures are thrown into chaos. Seizing this opportunity, Ariane and Darren run for their lives. They reach the hole they had originally opened. There, they see a rope hanging down, their only way back up. Ariane quickly grabs onto it and climbs first with Darren right behind her, but the creatures are still chasing them, desperately trying to pull them back down. Darren quickly realizes that both of them cannot escape together. To save Ariane's life, he cuts his own rope, causing himself to fall back down. The creatures immediately attack him, and he is overpowered. Ariane, now free, climbs to the surface, where the townspeople are already waiting. As soon as she emerges, the creatures start coming out behind her. But before they can escape, the locals set everything on fire, burning any creature that tries to come out. Once again, the mine entrance is sealed permanently, just as it was before Ariane and her team arrived. The danger is finally over. Sakamon turns to Ariane and tells her, "You have two choices. You can either leave and tell the world what you saw here, or you can stay and help us protect humanity from these creatures. We have always guarded these gates, and we will continue to do so." Ariane takes a deep breath and makes her decision. She chooses to stay. From now on, she will stand alongside the townspeople, ensuring that no creature ever escapes again. And with that, the story comes to an end.